Hello everybody, this is Skully the Metalhead, and welcome to the Doom 3 commentary. And, yeah, a bit of a weird scheduling thing. I know I'm doing the Matrix Path of Neo as well as this game. Excuse me, I'm terrible at doing introductions, but that commentary is not going away, but it is on hiatus due to reasons of illness. Both mental and physical. Actually, I've recently just recovered from a cold. It's something that I kinda wish I had been a little bit more productive on, but then again, you know, getting a cold, it really does suck. But yeah, in any case, Doom 3, everybody. Yippee-ki-yay. And, you know, that's one thing I never really understood about, like, a lot of sci-fi. Like, in many franchises, there tends to be, like, you know, the one big corporate entity. Like, I mean, in Doom's case, it's the UAC facility from both the classic games and Doom 3 onwards. And, you know, for as much shit as I give games like Half-Life and Portal, at the very least, you know, they've set, you know, the Black Mesa and Aperture Science the Aperture Science industries as, you know, corporate rivals. Excuse me for my bad grammar. Well, no, I say grammar, but I should say stumbling, because I really want to try and avoid that. It's been apparent throughout most of my commentaries, and I must eliminate that, so if you dislike my droning voice, I'm sorry, but it's the only way I can really combat that.
Excellent. See that Counselor Swan is sent directly to me.
That guy is probably one of the seediest voices I've ever heard. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's something that I do enjoy impersonating, just to be seedy. I voice act myself sometimes. I don't know whether or not that's a sign of mental retardation, or the fact that I don't know, maybe I just enjoy voice acting. Well, I do, since well, I've only done 2 redubs, both of which are on the anime Sonic X, but, you know.
I can't believe it's come to this. I didn't want to come here. He left you.
That kind of reminds me when I have to go off and... Actually, I don't know. You know, it just makes me feel like when I'm going to a place I don't want to go to. It's like waking up in the morning. I don't want to get up, I don't want to go off and do the things in my day, but, you know, you gotta do it. Anyway, this is our titular protagonist, Doomguy. Well, I say Doomguy, but I'm pretty sure his name is... Oh, damn, I forgot what his name is. It was like, Flynn Taggart, I think. And yeah, that is Doomguy's official name. It was weird to learn that, actually. It was like... You know, Doomguy is supposed to be you. Well, thank you for your advice, glasses man. Now, one thing you probably notice immediately off the bat, and one cool thing that I think most games actually kind of took from Doom 3, well, as far as I know, is that you can actually interact with a lot of the computers and items here, which... Again, you know, it's something that's done in most games, even without the player really noticing. Like, I'd speak more so for, you know, Call of Duty, Battlefield, most of the games that came during the 7th generation, but, for Doom 3, it feels, pretty organic and, immersive, is what I'm looking for. And in Doom 3, immersion is probably one of the biggest selling points of this game, because honestly, I will say this forever, but Doom 3 is probably one of the most immersive horror games I have ever played, and yes, I know many people classify Doom as an action horror game, but if you ask me, Doom 3 is a survival horror game, thick and thin. Like, I'm gonna say this right now, but I recommend Doom 3 to anybody. Like, if you're a fan of horror, then Doom 3, I recommend you check it out, and for reasons I'll show in this playthrough. And for those of you also wondering, no, this is going to be a fairly slow intro. I'm also introducing everybody to the UAC facility, and pretty much all the facets of life as normal, because, well, I'll say this much, enjoy it while it lasts. And another thing I should probably bring up is that I'm also going to be showing off a fair bit of the informational material, some of which I will either cut for time, or I'll just show the most interesting logs/ones that I personally enjoy. And that also gives you another reason to buy the game, you know, because Doom 3, the Big Friendly Giant Edition, well, BFG Edition for short, you can pick it up for the PlayStation 3, PC, you can pick up the original on the Xbox, as well as the original for PC, if I remember correctly. You can actually pick up the BFG Edition on Steam, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, funny, I mentioned Valve, and I mentioned Half-Life and shit earlier. Crazy, isn't it, how things just tie together?
If you are a guest, you may bring up any issue with your appointed
But in any case, you can't really do anything without your PDA, which will be introduced to us right now.
Mars. First time? You can just leave your bag there. I'll have it sent up to your quarters.
Which we never visit at all in the game.
A few things we need to take care of first. This is your personal data assistant.
Public display of affection? That'll be enough Ratchet and Clank references out of me.
It'll download directly. It's important, so don't lose it.
You know, it's kinda weird that I drew this comparison, but like in an era where we have iPads and shit, it's kind of a wonder why, like, buildings don't have that sort of security. Then again, I suppose that would make like a lot of our computers easier to hack, but, you know, it's something to think about, I suppose. You can also, and with the PDA, as you can see here, you can watch video discs, which is essentially the introductions to a lot of the UAC facilities. You can check your emails, which you can check other people's emails, the more PDAs you pick up throughout the game. Oh yeah, this is the example of the video disc, and you can also check your inventory, which I never do for some reason. Mostly because the most you really tend to have in your inventory is just weapons or the occasional keycard, but, you know. Oh, excuse me. Bit of indigestion. I've just finished eating my din-dins, as the kids call it. It's kinda weird though, because I'd say that Doom 3 kind of handles its story. Well, I'll get into the story the further we go in the game, but I'm gonna say this right now. Doom 3 kind of handles its story in a similar vein to Metroid Prime in some sense, in the sense that, you know, the main story beats are there, but for a lot of the extended material, you know, how the UAC facility becomes hellish later on, you know, it does it in a very non-intrusive way. Like, it's not going to be thrown in your face unlike many first-person shooters done nowadays that kind of handhold you throughout the game. And I'm not saying that to damn any, you know, 7th and 8th generation first-person shooters for being more story, and I don't want to say casual because, you know, that's kind of insulting to a lot of gamers who've gotten into it in recent years, but, you know, filthy casuals. But in any case, you can also use your PDA to download information, which is interesting. I never really bothered to read it because I have somewhat of a short attention span. Ta-da! Seamless editing, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, I'm here all week. Try the veal. I feel so sorry for anybody that sees me as unenthused by this game. But again, like, if you've seen any of my previous commentaries, I'd only ever recommend watching The Matrix Path of Neo since that one's somewhat salvageable. It's... stuttering is really a big problem with me. I don't even stutter, well, to a degree I stutter in real life. Not very much, obviously, but it's still a very big issue and I'm trying to work it out, so if this commentary turns out any better, then I'd appreciate the feedback. Bros, brosives, dudes, dudettes.
They'll get their product.
After how many accidents? Tell me, Dr. Betruger, why are so many workers spooked?
Are those sunglasses or just regular glasses? I could never tell, because...
They can't handle life here. They're exhausted and overworked. If I had a larger, more competent staff and bigger budget, even these few accidents could have been avoided.
That glassy-eyed stare, man, is really
until my
something.
report is filed with the board. I will need full access, Dr. Betruger, Delta included. I won't have any difficulties doing that, will I?
Actually, now that I notice that, like, Dr. Elliot Swan and Dr. Betruger have really glassy-eyed stares. I'd say Betruger, obviously, a little bit more than Elliot, but Jesus, I never noticed that until this commentary. But yeah, that cutscene is pretty much there to show that something's going down, and that Dr. Betruger is not really somebody to be trusted. Also, weird fun fact is that for any RPG players who have played Knights of the Old Republic, the voice actor of Dr. Elliot Swan is also the same voice actor for Davik Kang, who was the intergalactic crime lord. Speaking of famous voice actors, there's Phil Lamar, otherwise known as Hermes Conrad, and pretty much every black guy in every video game. And we picked up another PDA, which you can find throughout the game, and you can listen to audio logs, their emails, and also... that's about it, really. Though, then again, if there's one thing that I will say about, you know, a lot of the little things you can view and, well, do before, well, shit hits the fan, so to speak, you know, I will say that a lot of these little things like this here, it really does help to flesh out the UAC facility on Mars, which, you know, in any other game would probably just be, you know, a brief look at in a cutscene before, you know, the gameplay starts. And, you know, if there's one thing that I can praise Doom 3 for, it fleshes out its environment, you know, for what little time you actually spend in it, and, well, I love it, you know, get serious points from me. Anyway, editing chaos control activate. Whoa, man, what a rush. Okay, I'll keep the chaos control montages to a minimum since, you know, I think anybody who's coming here for a Doom commentary does really not want to see any Sonic shit in there. Especially considering the rather unreputable look upon the fanbase, but that's another discussion for another time for another person to talk about, so, yeah. This kitchen area does contain one really cool little thing you can find.
I hear ya.
Which we'll probably get to after this audio log, which I'll give you a little listen to just so I don't really need to say anything and you don't need to hear my boring voice.
This is the audio log of maintenance technician Adam Bernache, dated November 10th, 2145. I fixed the couplings on the heat shields this morning with no problems. I did, however, have another odd experience while I was down there. Shortly after finishing the first coupling adjustment, I distinctly heard whispering. When I went to investigate the sounds, I found nothing. Checked the work logs, and I was the only person scheduled to be in that area today. That experience, coupled with the stories I've heard from some guys over in the Delta Labs, has me pretty freaked out. I'm really beginning to hate going down to the underground maintenance area. The people down there are a bit off, the mumbling, the weird looks. The whole place is just plain creepy. I'm always expecting someone to jump out at me. I've secured my tools and the busted modulator in the storage cabinet next to the maintenance elevator. Technicians should use cabinet code 396 to access them. End of log.
Thank you very much, Adam What's-Your-Face. Again, as you've already seen, this is the emails, and this is also how you can get certain codes in the game that unlock storage lockers. But I'll get to that when, well, they're necessary. But enough about emails and PDA-related things, let's get to the best part of the game right now.
Super Turbo Turkey Puncher 3!
Yeah, die. Take that, turkey. You don't deserve to live. Anyway, I'll see you guys all in part 2 of Doom 3. Catch you later. Okay, for those of you wondering why this strange segment is there at the end of the videos, this is basically just gonna be, you know, a more refined tie-up of what's going down in terms of commentaries. First of all, no, I'm not abandoning the Matrix Path of Neo as I mentioned earlier. Again, I do still plan to continue, but the thing of it is, around about the time where I became ill, both, well, I say mentally, but that's always been around with me. I also sick with a cold, which as a result I don't want to say my passion for it drained, but suffice it to say, it's not going on hiatus either, it's just, you know, Doom 3 is just something to kind of reignite the spark, so to speak. Also because I'm a really big Doom fan, even though I've never really shown it that much before. A lot of my content has been mostly Sonic focused and, you know, things of the like, but again, you know, Doom 3 is just kind of there to reincite the passion of, you know, video production in general, because I've been fairly sluggish. Like, I mean, I know I've probably not been gone that long, but to me it's been ages, you know. So with this, hopefully I can get back into the swing of things. In any case, you know, Doom 3, Matrix Path of Neo, I do have a current movie review planned of the Silent Hill movie, so things are gonna be all G. For anybody that does regularly watch my content, maybe for a new viewer who just decided to tune into a Doom 3 commentary. It's gonna be fun on the buns, so I'm Skully, keep it new metal, and I'll see you for part 2 of Doom 3. We're doomed.